This is Hims, the most valuable telehealth brand in the world, worth over 6.7 billion. And their growth isn't accidental. They've built one of the most sophisticated persuasion-driven funnels in telehealth, carefully designed around trust, timing, and human psychology. Now, after generating over $60 million for telehealth brands, I've reverse engineered their entire funnel to show exactly how they guide patients from doubt to action and how you can apply the same principles ethically for your own brand. Now, let's start with point number one. And let's start this breakdown with the acquisition side of Hims' funnel. So, how are they acquiring the customers? How are they acquiring the traffic to their site that they're then eventually converting to patients? Hims is mainly utilizing 4 main channels, so they're spending, for context, $56.6 million on ads a month right now, and they're using Facebook, TikTok, Google, and TV as the main channels. And we can go into their ad library. You can see 740 ads currently running there, so huge spend requires huge volume. They're also testing a lot of different creatives all the time, and that's obviously what you need to be able to keep this kind of spend going and still run the ads profitably. How do they keep this profitable beyond the fact that they're running different creatives, so many different variations of the ads constantly? Obviously, most brands never approach these kind of numbers, even $1 million a month, because they make these key mistakes. First of all, the customer doesn't believe that this brand understands their problem. They don't believe you can solve the problem. Obviously, you're also competing with a way bigger market, and your ad costs rise and ROAS drops. And what is Hims doing? Super simple strategy. Everyone knows this, everyone tries to do this, but the execution in this case is everything, and Hims is able to actually execute on a level, keep the testing going with high volume to be able to, achieve this goal of them. And what is this goal? It's to create ads that speak directly to customers' pain points. So you can see here, obviously, Hims has a lot of different categories on their site. Weight loss, they have, ED treatments, hair loss treatments, they have, skincare, they have testosterone replacement therapy, all these kind of different treatments. And here you can see that when it comes to their advertising, they run super specific ads, diving deep into all of these key pain points, depending on which is the category that they're pushing traffic to. So here you can see hair loss, for example, visible results in just 3 months, thinning, thriving, and then there's Antonio, real Hims customer. Then there's weight loss, 11.5 lbs down in just 60 days, and then there's like an asterisk, and then they explain here that based on their own survey results of Hims customers and so on. Then there's ED treatments, get hard again, 2x as fast, super simple, creative again, and then low testosterone, get your testosterone back, learn more today. So really simple ads targeting specifically these customers' pain points, depending on which category, which is the pain point and which is the outcome that they're looking for. So instead of asking, do you have health problems? They create 25 targeted ads speaking directly to these 4 customer avatars, rather than 100 generic ads that don't address these specific pain points. This approach is part of why they can spend so much a month profitably, but obviously it's just a part of the picture. It's not the whole story. And what is the second part of the funnel? The second key part. It's their quiz funnel. And obviously Hims quiz is so well optimized, it's actually like scary. They maintain perfect congruence from ad to quiz, keeping their target audience engaged throughout. So you can see, coming from these different creatives that I just showed on the advertising side, how does the path continue from that point on? Let's say they come in from the hair loss ad, they are clicking the ad, they end up in the hair loss questionnaire. Thicker, fuller hair in just 3 to 6 months. What are your hair goals? And then it continues from there. When it comes to the weight loss side, there's weight loss plan personalized to you. Find a treatment option designed around your health history, lifestyle, and weight loss goals. Starting weight, goal weight. Why do you want to lose weight? Then there's the ED treatment, have a better sex life, personalized chewables. Then how do you want to improve your sex life? And then when it comes to the TRT, get your edge back with testosterone RX, personalized treatment to help you feel like yourself again. And then again, it starts with the questionnaire. So are you interested in raising your testosterone levels? And this congruence is essential for a high throughput rate on their quizzes, obviously. Otherwise, customers will be unsure if this is actually what they clicked and leave. So whenever somebody comes in from an ad, they need to see straight away that, hey, I was coming for this. If they don't see that on the first window of the quiz, they're gonna drop off and leave. That's gonna increase the bounce rate so much. But you need to be able to have the congruence there, and here you can see a good example of how to achieve that. Alright, and then next steps, there are still 2 tactics they use to achieve sky-high throughput rates. Tactic number 1 regarding this is the sales questions / zero-party data. So, these questions are something that necessarily would be required for assessing their treatment needs, but instead these are used to increase customer commitment, spike emotional engagement, get customers to admit they're not where they want to be, and then drive conversion through psychological investment. And obviously another point here is collecting the data of your customers that they can then use in the email funnel to actually personalize the content based on what are the key goals of these people. So you can see here as an example from the weight loss questionnaire, weight loss plan tailored to you. Why do you want to lose weight? Improve overall health, fit better into clothes, boost self-confidence, all of the above. And then, what would reaching your goal weight mean for you? Having more energy, feeling more confident, etc., etc. And then, what's the hardest thing about losing weight for you? And then based on all this context, you can personalize emails, the SMS, everything that comes after to make sure you're speaking directly to that person and their pain points. So for example, if somebody says that their hardest thing about losing weight is, controlling hunger or cravings, you want to send them content regarding that, tips, blog posts, stuff like that actually talk to them about that and, empower them to get through those issues, those challenges. If their key goal or like key challenge is the cost, then you know that, maybe if they didn't convert right now, maybe if you have like a offer going on or discount or something, then you want to push it to those people. Or maybe you want to push them to a multi-month plan, which is like a lower monthly price, so you can explain that, hey, get this for cheaper but commit right now, and so on. That's one key part. And then the second part about improving the sign-up rates on the quiz is the sales slides. So they basically implement these pure selling moments mixed between the quiz questions to build desire and overcome objections. So you can see here, for example, 83% of Americans are not the weight they'd like to be, data based on a nationally representative survey of 5,000 American adults, Hims Hers, Shape of America report, December 2024. And then you can, continue the quiz from that point on. And then there's other ones, clinical data indicates that personalized GLP-1 dosing can help reduce side effects without compromising results, etc., etc. Again, data backed from their own surveys. And then here, another social proof slide, real results start here. And then there's a couple of Hims customers, before after stories, how much they've lost in how many months and so on, just to make it more real. So that's another part of the quiz optimization. And then when it comes to the checkout, they capture the cart immediately when patient comes to the checkout, but they only charge when the doctor approves the prescription. So here you can see you're almost done, Jones treatment details, compounded semaglutide, and then there's the select your shipping plan. And this part is really conversion optimized as well. Let me explain why. So the pricing play here, the 6-month plan is pre-selected. Obviously, why is it pre-selected? Because it pushes people to, spend more but save on the monthly price. So for a 16-week plan, it's $250 a month, but for a 6-month plan, it's $200 a month or $199. Obviously, it also locks the customer, locks the patient in to have high retention straight out of the gate. So, you basically lock them in for 6-month retention already. You're also getting more cash up front, so you can outspend your competitors on advertising. And so, they're essentially using customers' prepayments to fund their whole, $56.6 million a month ad budget. This is super conversion optimized as well at the checkout here. Now, the question becomes, what if they don't finish the quiz? And this brings us to the craziest part of their strategy, which is the $1.6 billion email marketing strategy of Hims. And this retention strategy is what separates Hims from every competitor. It's the core behind their valuation. And obviously, I'm an expert on this area. I'm a lifecycle marketer for telehealth specifically, and I can dive deeper into this area even compared to the other parts of the funnel. So A+ segmentation, first part of their lifecycle marketing strategy. Why is this such a big lever for them? Why is this such a good key part of their strategy? Because they segment early in the quiz. These follow-ups that they make in the email side speak directly to each customer's specific pain points. And this personalization massively increases open rates and click-through rates. So again, let's add another part into the funnel that we've already been showing to you. There's hair loss, the ad, then there's the quiz, and then if they don't finish the quiz, you'll start to get these specific emails regarding your pain point. So here's an example: the science behind the spray. This 2-in-1 spray combines this and this ingredient, and then there's the benefits of each ingredient. Really visually pleasing way, infographic style here. You can pretty much scan the whole email in 10 seconds, understand everything there is to it. There's the asterisk, and then it's backed with their own data from Hims customers, the surveys that they've run across their customer base. Then there's the same kind of thing for weight loss, ad, then questionnaire, and then specific emails to the weight loss. So how the results add up, and then there's again really scientifically focused, data proven, data backed information about how much customers lose on average on the GLP-1 treatments and so on. And then there's compounded GLP-1s versus oral medication kits, and then work towards your weight loss goals. Again, super simple email, not a lot of copy. You can go through it in 10 seconds and you get a lot of science-backed data. Their surveys, everything here is proven by their survey data, so you can be much more authoritative when it comes to, talking about these things. Same thing here when it comes to the ED. So there's, creative for the ad, then there's the survey, the questionnaire, and then there's email. Have great sex. Again, super simple. Headline, 1 sentence, CTA, image, and then final extra kind of like a USB section here. And that's the whole email. And then again, low testosterone, ad, quiz, and then email. Do your levels need a lift? Get started or learn more. Get started leads to the questionnaire, learn more leads to the product page, explaining a little bit more for those customers who are not ready to go back to the questionnaire yet. And then again, super simple, bullet points here, symptoms of low testosterone and how Hims can help. And then a really visually pleasing image here, creative here, and then finding your baseline, get started. So all of these emails, they're super visually pleasing. Again, really short, really simple. Customers can go through these super fast and get everything they need from these emails, and they can trust the results because they're data-backed USPs. Then, when it comes to the abandoned quiz flow, that's the second key part of their super good email marketing strategy. They are hitting prospects when emotional engagement is at its peak. They're sending multiple emails per day, which keeps the momentum going and converts hesitation into action. So here you can see HIMS, don't forget to complete your assessment, you're so close. So again, super simple email, one sentence, then let's go. This is basically targeting those people who, just finished the questionnaire but didn't convert to buyers yet. So it's just reminding them with like a super simple nudge to, finish your order if they kind of forgot it or something like that. So there's not too much objection handling in this first email. And that's exactly how we also do that for our clients in the telehealth space. I have another video I just made on this topic, how to optimize your, high converting questionnaire abandonment flow. So you can see our strategy in that video if you go to my YouTube profile, but this is exactly the kind of structure that we're following as well. Second point here, high volume. So, high volume doesn't mean spam when it's personalized and speaks to real pain points. Most brands send, too few emails, not too many. And here you can see, for example, 2 times in the same day, there's HIMS, hello again, and then more than just medication. So they're reaching the customer when it's still warm, and that's gonna increase conversions. That's the best time to actually keep reaching them at high frequency. So, viral ad hooks become viral subject lines, because if they're already tested on millions of dollars of spend, why not use that what's already proven to work? And here you can see an example from this email. Subject line, my hair is back to what it was in my mid-20s. And then there's the email, science behind the spray, and then it explains about the hair loss treatment. And then what I already kind of touched on, it's the clear design. So their emails are visual first and infographic style, easy to scan, beautiful to look at, and consistent with their premium brand. So, you open the email, there's always just like a couple of sentences tops of the copy, a really simple headline, the CTA, and then well-branded, minimalistic, but kind of modern visual design still. So there's like the tablet, and then it explains the ingredients in it together with the benefits of each ingredient. Why is it included in there? Every time somebody goes into their email, opens an email from HIMS, they can, go through the whole email in 5 to 10 seconds. All they need is that, because people are usually not that willing to, read an email. On average, people spend like 5 to 10 seconds on an email. So HIMS is really, really nailing that part to ensure that they're able to speak to the customer in that time before they actually drop off and, go away. All right. So that's what is good in the strategy for HIMS, but there's obviously still room for improvement. And as someone who's generated over $60 million in email revenue for telehealth brands specifically with my agency, here's what I'd implement for them to, improve this further. I will give you like a summarized kind of comment on what would I do differently, and then I will show you a couple of examples. So the summary here, their emails are great, they're branded, they're super good for awareness, and obviously HIMS is also a huge brand, everyone already knows them, so they don't need to go that deep into like explaining longer, being super personal. They just need to kind of remind the customer that we exist, and there's already so much trust built that they don't need to necessarily always go that extra layer of personalization, of education on their emails. But what I would recommend, like 90% of cases, is to improve on the personalization side, or like not personalization in a way, but like making the emails more personal so they sound like they're coming from somebody real inside the business, not just like a faceless entity. Then adding educational touch points to guide top of funnel leads toward action, because right now the emails are kind of super simple, like I explained. There's not a lot of stuff here. You can see same thing here, same thing in all the examples here. There's not a lot of copy, so it's just more about like if somebody is already on the fence of buying, they just need like one more piece of social proof that hey, this is the kind of results that people are getting it with HIMS, then they're gonna go and buy. But what there is not that much when it comes to HIMS emails. You can see, for example, here's the whole, I've been going through the HIMS emails, and here's like, if you go to Milt, you can see all their emails that they're sending. There's not any kind of longer more personal, more educational emails in their setup right now. So what would I add? I can give you a couple of examples from our clients from founder emails. Here's an example. Our story didn't start in the lab. It started with a question, so on. And then, hi, I'm Bonnie, co-founder of Freya. And then like a personal long form copy explaining their story and so on, building a little bit more of like a personal touch into the brand. So it feels more approachable, not just like a faceless, huge entity. That's one. Then another style that is a good example of something that could be added here is response generators and data collection. So for example, in here you can see, hey, Bonnie here, the co-founder of Freya. Our support team informed me that you haven't taken a shot with Freya yet. I'd really like to know what's holding you back, and then which one sounds most like you. There's a couple of options, A, B, C, D, E, and then just hit reply with your letter. So they can simply just press reply, reply, they can type in A or B or C or whatever, and then they can press send. This response goes directly to the customer support team of Freya, and then they can start a conversation from there. They know exactly what the customer is or what the patient is looking for, why they didn't convert yet, and then they can have a two-way conversation until the patient is fully confident in purchasing. So that's something that you can add to make, we've done this for multiple brands in the past year, and it always works super well. Then story / problem agitation solution emails. So these longer form copy emails. For example, here, the weight wasn't your fault, CTA, then there's a before after image, and then actually going into like a what's the problem, why they haven't gotten results yet, then explaining it with biology, why is the situation like this right now, and then the result, and then explaining what this brand does differently. So kind of like explaining there's a problem, this is why you haven't reached your goals yet, and this is why we are the brand that is the solution to all of your problems that you have been facing so far. And this is again like a longer form copy, and then there's like a product showcase at the bottom still here, another CTA, and then a couple of social proof like reviews at the bottom to cater for those people who are still on the fence after reading everything here. So that's something that Hims doesn't really do as either. They only have like these short emails like I already showed you here, and then something regarding this more personal angle, plain text emails, personal plain text emails. Hims doesn't do those. There's only these stock updates basically, but they don't do personal emails like this at all, which is something that looks like it's actually coming from like somebody specifically, one individual sent this to you from their own Gmail inbox or something. So here you can see Robin from Effecti. Hey there, just wanted to personally reach out and apologize for the formatting hiccup in our recent email you received from us, and then forwarded message, and then here's like a previous offer that they ran. So this kind of email, as somebody who is reading the emails as a patient, as a customer, this feels like somebody is actually reaching out to you, they actually care about you, and they're writing you an email. It's not just like a design blast email coming from Klaviyo or something, coming from Customer.io, coming from wherever you're using to send your emails. So this makes customers much more likely to open the email, it makes them feel more valued, and it also is better deliverability wise because these kind of text-based emails land in the main inbox more than these kind of emails that are more likely to land in the promotions tab or something like that, or even in the spam tab if your deliverability is bad. So this is just a couple of examples on what we could do differently. Obviously, I am doing a lot of tutorials and trainings on these topics. We are exclusively focusing on telehealth, email marketing, SMS marketing, lifecycle marketing. So for a full deep dive into our telehealth lifecycle marketing strategies, you can check out these videos here because you will have access to the document, this mirror board as well as a watcher of this video. So you can see our blueprint for telehealth email marketing, a more specific case study of one of our clients, and then the questionnaire abandonment, how to create a high converting questionnaire abandonment flow for a telehealth specific brand. So you can find these videos here, and that will give you a little bit deeper dive in the whole overall strategy and like the key 3 to 5 levers that I would suggest and we always do for our clients in telehealth space to increase their performance when we come in and start working with them. So this is a little bit more deep dive. This was just like based on the Hims funnel, what you can do differently to improve even the already well-performing Hims funnel to be even better. So check out the video on screen right now where I break down all 5 email types you need, which audiences respond to which one, and how to structure your entire content calendar to maximize revenue and profits in 2026. Now, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.